y'all, this is Jade's in Austin, Texas, and it's Saturday for the Weight Loss Diaries. Woohoo! So I'm one of your vloggers, and here we go. As y'all know by now, this week's topic is what do you know about heart disease, and we were asked to first state what we know prior to any research, and then what we know after doing some research. Before I get into that, just a real quick update. I'm doing really well as far as my diet and lifestyle plan is going. I weighed in at 169.5, so I lost 1.5 pounds this week, which I'm really happy with. I'm doing a challenge, it's through Truly Jess. It's a Christmas Losers Challenge, and I see some other people losing 3, 4, 5 pounds. I've even seen some of the other girls on the diaries talk about losing 4 or 5 pounds a week. And I'm a little like, because I would really like to lose 3 or 4 or 5 pounds in a week. And I'm really good, as far as exercise and vitamins, water. I drink a gallon of water a day, take vitamins, work out every day, whether cardio, weights, and on days when I'm not doing that, it'll be boot camp, which is weights and or cardio, agility training. Hi, Allie. So I'm real disciplined with that, and my eating plan is super, no deviations whatsoever. So I am happy with my 1.5 pounds. However, I can't help but want to lose more. I just think it'd be great. I just feel like, oh, I want to lose 4 pounds like so and so. So whatever, I'm doing really well. As far as heart disease goes, what I knew before this assignment was I knew the link to periodontal disease, and periodontal disease being a cause of heart disease because I used to work in a dental office, and we always stressed and were taught to stress to the patients, and I knew patients that actually had heart difficulties and heart disease implications because of not treating periodontal disease, even gingivitis, which is relatively low on the scale as far as the stages of gum disease, which is periodontal disease, but still has pretty big and pretty large health ramifications, especially on your heart. Now, when I started doing research, it just so happened that it coincided with me going to a lifestyles class this week. And in the lifestyles class that I took, although sugar and the truth of sugar was the main topic, heart disease repeatedly came up. And so I wanted to share some of the things that I learned, which is interesting because we did do sugar as a topic the last few weeks, but I just want to go over, first and foremost, that heart disease is hugely diet, lifestyle related. Although there is a very tiny percentage of genetic linkage, heart disease is a further evolution of like syndrome X or metabolic syndrome or any of these other terms that you've heard, which is, the high LDL, the low HDL, the insulin resistance, etc., etc. These are all things that predispose you to heart disease even more. And one culprit, commonly in people's poor lifestyle choices or in the foods that they eat that contributes to health, problems, is sugar. So I won't go into sugar too much because, we did that a few weeks ago, but when I'm talking about sugars, I'm talking about anything that molecularly hits the blood and causes a certain effect. So I am including some carbohydrates, as all carbohydrates are sugar, and of course your body needs sugar. Your brain uses 25% of the sugar that you take in, but you only need so much sugar that you need to burn for energy, and that's fine. But when you get into surpluses of sugar that you're not immediately burning for energy, that's when it starts to wreak havoc with the body, because sugar is highly combative. It's sugar, is one of the first antibiotics used. Even my grandmother used to put sugar on the bandage, like on an open sore, and it works. It has really strong properties. It is a reactive substance, so that's first and foremost. So you don't want extra of this reactive substance to be sitting in your body because it causes other things, one of which is heart disease. I have some notes, so I'll just be following along. But so they're talking about how you must watch the sugar because it's such a reactive molecule, and what happens when sugar reacts with your tissue is called glycation. Glycation creates free radicals, which are, atoms which odd number of electrons. So I'm sure you've heard that free radicals cause increased aging, but they also tear down tissue and they tear down collagen really, really quickly. They also cause arteries to stiffen, which of course leads to heart disease. So when you have these AGEs, which stand for advanced glycation end products, which is when you have too much sugar, your body reacts with it, you have these GAEs sitting around, that actually increases your probability of heart disease immensely. Some statistics show up to 62%. So these are large implications from eating too much sugar, whether in the form of refined carbohydrates or artificial sugars that don't have the fiber of a natural fruit or less starchy vegetable to counteract the insulin response of your body. So once again, the AGEs, they can cause hypertension, diabetes, high cholesterol, and heart disease, which I had heard that there were links in between heart disease and diet, but in this seminar, it really brought home exactly how strong these links are. There's entire books on this fact. You hear a lot about cholesterol causing heart disease, and I've been reading a book called Good Calories, Bad Calories, and it's basically just a compilation of all these scientific research projects or research papers, research journals, and it just goes through, and it's actually, cholesterol does not cause heart disease. Cholesterol in food does not cause high cholesterol. Did you know that only 5% of the population can affect their cholesterol levels by changing the foods that they bring in? Cholesterol is a stress hormone. If the body is stressed, the adrenals are stressed, you have high levels of cortisone, that is where the high elevated levels of cholesterol are going to be. Not from an egg or a piece of steak or shrimp or what have you. These foods do not create heart disease. What creates heart disease is these AGEs, this abundance of free radicals caused by consuming more sugar than your body can burn. And because this is such a reactive substance sitting in the body, all these free radicals are made, and it starts wreaking havoc and breaking apart the body. And there's a technical term, for hardening of the arteries, but it actually does cause hardening of the arteries, which makes the heart have to overwork, which then causes the heart to fatigue, which then makes the different levels of hormones in your body get askew because your body is trying to regulate and keep homeostasis, and it's going, what's going on? Why is his heart fatiguing? And everything gets out of whack, and this chronic condition can actually lead to heart disease. So, moral of the story on this, to keep it, a decent time video, is that there's so much that we can all do to prevent heart disease. So much besides like taking cholesterol medication, which for the most part, after doing some research, I will never take cholesterol medication because there's so many other factors, and it's such an indicator. It's not an indicator that you need to take medication to lower your cholesterol. It's an indicator that the stress in the body is too high, and while you might need medication temporarily, like statin, it really shows you there's something else going on that could eventually lead to heart disease. So you don't want to suppress that symptom. You want to find the cause and handle it. What's recommended is to keep your glycemic index low, which simply means any food you eat, you want it to have a gradual impact on your blood sugar. You don't want it to spike and to drop and to spike and to block. So the guy who had this particular seminar recommended that you keep all of your food 55 or lower, white bread and sugar is at 100, and naturally you'll pick foods that are healthier and less likely to cause any sort of later problems with your heart, which then would lead to heart disease. So this is one more piece of the puzzle, and I hope that you find something useful in this. I found it to be really informative and really kind of connected some dots as far as things that I've been thinking, a more holistic approach to heart disease and what and how we can do more to prevent it. And once again, so much of our health lies within our own hands. On that note, y'all will be seeing Denise later today, and until next Saturday, besos!